It's a rainy one, and my last in St. Anthony. Goodbye to the great north of Newfoundland. Another day, another ferry. Open, be back in 10 minutes. I guess I'll have to wait a little bit for my lunch. I made it off the ferry and I'm here in Blanc-Sablon, which is actually not in Newfoundland and Labrador. It's in Quebec. This is the northernmost town in Quebec on the north side of the Gulf of St. Lawrence. And for some reason the ferry goes here. So I'm only about a kilometer west of the Labrador border. And that has interesting time zone implications too, because I was an hour and a half ahead of Eastern time in Newfoundland. Now I'm in Quebec, so I'm an hour and a half back, the same as Maine. And then once I go a kilometer north of here, I'll be back in Newfoundland time. So I'm going an hour and a half back and then an hour and a half forward. And then once I go away from the coast in Labrador, I'll go a half hour back. So I'll be in 4 different time zones today. Definitely chilly here in Labrador. There's an underground spring here that makes the water just bubble like that all the time. I'm naming this place the Yellowstone of the North. I made it to a town called Bay. There's a historic site here. I don't think I have time to see it, fortunately. It's an old whaling station. I made it to the little town of Mary's Harbor, where I'm walking to what should be a nice waterfall. I made it to Port Hope Simpson, which is the last coastal fishing village on my journey. So from here on out, I'm gonna head inland, and all of the future towns will be industry related, like mining or military. Nothing like the Newfoundland and Labrador fishing villages I've grown so accustomed to. If all goes well, the next time I see the Atlantic Ocean, I'll be embarking on a boat to the most remote inhabited island in the world. But that's tough to think about at the moment. I've got a road trip to do. From Port Hope Simpson, it's a 4.5 hour drive to the next town with nothing in between. So I'm gonna try to do like half of it tonight, and then I'll do the other half in the morning. Well, I'm about 2 hours out of Port Hope Simpson. I saw this little dirt road leading off the highway, so I just took it, and I'm gonna spend the night here. It's already below freezing out, so I'm gonna get cozy in my big sleeping bag. This lighting makes me look so strange. Well, I had a great sleep. It's cold, but I was very warm with all of my blankets. Now the challenge is convincing myself to get out of bed. I'm trying to think, but I think this might be the furthest I've ever been from a human settlement in any direction. The closest town is over 200 kilometers away. Well, I'm here in happy Valley-Goose Bay. It's the largest town in Labrador. It has about 8,000 people. And this town is actually here because of the military, and not the Canadian military. It was a US military base back in the World War II days. Since then, the military base has closed up, and this town definitely has the atmosphere of one whose main industry has passed it by. This is as close as I could find to the downtown. Very cool to see nonetheless. Look, I've been having the local cuisine for 6 weeks now. Well, any pho is good pho. Okay, it's time to get on the road again. 3 hours until Churchill Falls, the next town.
Continue on Newfoundland and Labrador 500 for 511 kilometers.
This is Churchill Falls. It's a hydro town. So Churchill Falls is one of the biggest hydros in North America. And 100 years ago, it was built by Quebec in Labrador because this province was really in need of cash. So they were kind of exploited into some really unfavorable deal where to this day, Quebec gets the power generated here for a very low price. And it's the source of a lot of resentment towards Quebec in this province. Anyway, the town itself is a little bit depressing. Behind me is the community center, which has all the services and the one store. And beyond that, it just seems like a lot of company housing kind of stuff. There is a softball game going on. This is called Hamilton Falls. I bet it was even more magnificent before the dam was constructed upstream. I think this has got to be the second best canyon I've ever seen after the Grand one. Now it's 2.5 more hours on the road to Labrador City. We're headed into mining country. This is the rail line that goes up to Schefferville, which is a mining town about 200, 400 kilometers north of here that's only accessible by rail. I'm here in Labrador City, the second largest town in Labrador, and it's entirely a mining town. It's the largest iron operation in North America in this area. And gosh, it's making me nostalgic for my summer in Arizona, just walking into that gas station. Everyone's in their high vis. It's a type. All the pickup trucks driving around with the visibility flags. It's a mining town, all right. All right, I made it to an Airbnb I booked. I figured it would be nice to have a spot to refresh and take a shower in the middle of the road trip, and it's very nice here. There's a lovely couple that owns the house. Honestly, as far as mining towns go, this is probably the nicest one I've ever seen. The houses have a little bit of individual character, and of course you're in the gorgeous landscape of Labrador. But it's still a mining town. Back on the road. And time to leave behind Newfoundland and Labrador for good. Well, I made it across the Quebec border to the mining town of Fermont, and behind me is what's called the Fermont Wall. And you can't see all of it, but that building actually extends 1.3 kilometers long, and it serves a couple purposes. One, to block the entire town from the strong winds that batter this area the entire year, mostly in the winter. And also to provide pretty much everything you could ever need to residents without having to go outside. So there's housing, the school, the recreation, the stores, all in this one building. So if you live here, you barely ever have to go outside. Pretty strange. Now it's time to embark on my longest stretch without a town. It's gonna be a 6-hour and 45-minute drive to the north coast of the Gulf of St. Lawrence from here, with nothing in between. So I got some stuff from a grocery store for lunch, and time to head back into the wilderness. Pretty lake. So if you've ever looked at interior Quebec on Google Maps, you've probably noticed what is behind me. It's a giant circular lake with a perfect island in the middle. It looks like a crater, and that's because it is. It's the basin from an ancient impact crater, and it's been dammed up as a reservoir. I'm gonna go see the dam that has led to this reservoir in a couple hours. So yeah, it didn't used to be a lake like this, but it is actually a crater. So I'm here at Manic 5, which is one of the grand installations of the almighty Hydro-Quebec. Very impressive dam, I must say. And they've created a lot of nice infrastructure for visitors. And this is the dam that has created the lake, the crater lake, Lake Manicouagan, Lac Manicouagan. Well, I finally made it to Baie-Comeau on the coast. It's been a long day of driving, and it's a little bit jarring to re-enter civilization and see real highway with real traffic and everything. I'm gonna try to drive about an hour south of here to a town called Forestville, where I'm gonna sleep in my car tonight. Check that out. It's an amazing display of northern lights despite all the light pollution here. While gone are the lawless lands of the north, I'm here in a supermarket parking lot for the night. Yay. Well, it's time for one last ferry of the trip. This one just a 10-minute hop across the Saguenay River. The Saguenay River is actually technically a fjord, and it's the largest fjord in North America. So from here, it's just another 2 hours south to Quebec City, my final destination, where it'll be time to leave behind my car and head out to Western Canada. It will definitely be sad and a big change to leave this car behind. Total, my trip from St. Anthony, Newfoundland was 27 hours and 2,300 kilometers. So I guess it'll be good for me to have a little bit of space from this nice Volkswagen.